everybody. It's Steffi Zimmerman of All Things Cancer. I am honored to be here today with wife, mom, breast cancer survivor, friend, encourager, um, inspirational, change agent, just a vision of hope, Lisa Lurie of Cancer Be Glammed. Welcome, Lisa.
Well, thank you for having me. And I could say all those same things back to you, Steffi. Thanks for having me. And thank you for all you do on All Things Cancer.
Well, thank you. Now, for the audience that may not be familiar with Cancer Be Glammed, the starting point that I've chosen is to talk about the backstory and your friendship with Ellen. So would you share with us that story?
Sure, absolutely. I don't need, any encouragement to talk about Ellen or to talk about how we founded Cancer Be Glammed. At age 47, I was diagnosed out of the blue with breast cancer, and within a matter of 2 weeks, I underwent a double mastectomy. 3-4 weeks later, I didn't have reconstructive surgery. 3-4 weeks later, I had chemotherapy, and literally within a very short period of time, I found myself bald, breastless, bloated from steroids, and it was devastating. And I had 2 young daughters, and, you get a lot of medical support, but this was 10 years ago, and things have come a long way. But at that time in particular, you wake up and you're at a total loss. You're thrown into this tailspin of all these medical decisions, but there was really no support to help you deal with the day-to-day of existing with this new body, these new emotions, everything that you're going through. And it's devastating to you, but also to your family as well. So, my dear friend, Ellen Weiss-Kander, how we reconnect is our daughters became we had grown up together, and our daughters became best friends in kindergarten. And so she understood what I was going through, and she had had chemotherapy for a rare blood disorder when she was young. And she just saw how I was struggling, and she said, I'm not going to let this happen. So, she's pretty glamorous. I was really the sweatpant wearing, hiding behind the scenes kind of mom. I was a freelance writer at the time, so it was easy for me to lay low. And she was determined to get me up and running. And so she hit the stores to find really nice headscarves, wraps, things that would, that I could dress and still be comfortable and look good. And I said, I'll go online and see what I can find. And, we really couldn't find great products and recovery things that would make me continue to be able to dress well, be comfortable, and meet my ongoing needs. And once I recovered, we sat down together and said, we've got to make the cancer experience better for other women. Let's do it. And we founded Cancer Be Glammed.
Now let's talk about recovery and style. And specifically, let's talk about the value that brings to the table on a daily basis.
Everybody, and I don't like to make generalizations, but most women care, even at the most basic level, about how they look. And we get our hair done, or we wear certain clothing. And, celebrity stylist Rachel Zoe says, this is how she puts style. And I just love this quote. It's, style is the way we express ourselves without even having to speak. And, you walk into a room and, you present yourself even in small ways, with the type of clothing you wear, the way you do your hair, the way you might, choose to wear accessories. And when you go through cancer, you're stripped raw, from the things that we identify about ourselves. You look into a mirror and now your hair is gone. In my case, my breasts were gone. I didn't opt to have reconstruction. You go through an ostomy and now you're living with a pouch or a bag. Or, you go through chemotherapy and all your body hair is gone. So as women, we go through all these really visible appearance-related changes, and it impacts us inside and out. It's a very traumatic emotional experience.
Mhm.
And we wanted to say to women, we're going to help build that part of you back up so you can reclaim your dignity and you can reclaim your self-esteem and you can move forward in your day-to-day life feeling better about yourself.
It's interesting that you mentioned just the total loss of body hair. When I think about that, and one of the things that I remember as a child is the fact that I didn't have eyelashes.
Yes.
And when they grew back, it was such an itchy experience.
Yes.
And now in my adult life, when when I think about the possibility of having cancer again, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't do all that often,
Good for you.
but when I think about it, I think the hair that I would miss most is my eyelashes.
And Steffi, I understand that completely. And, people write me all the time, they send me emails and I talk to lots of women all the time. And they'll say like, isn't it vain that I care so much about my hair? And I'm like, it's not even the slightest piece of being, has nothing to do with vanity. Let me rephrase that as I trip over my tongue. This is what I used to say to my friends when I had cancer. Cancer makes you check your vanity at the door, and they'd say, well, what does that mean? And I'd say, it's not about being vain. It's about trying to hold on to your sense of self when every day the world is shifting around your feet. And that's, the medical world is constantly changing. You don't know from scan to scan, from test to test to, you're so caught up in, what's going to happen to me from a cancer medical perspective, and then all the different side effects, how am I going to feel from minute to minute, to then all the visual body appearance concerns on top of it. You wake up one morning and your skin is flaking, and itching and terrible. Then, or your eyes, or now your hair, like you said, your eyelashes are gone and they're itching. So it's not a vanity play. It's about caring for yourself and wanting to feel good about yourself. And I think that's a basic, fundamental human right and issue.
I agree with you. And I think that in some respects, we're doubly challenged at that
Mm-hmm.
point because we are women and we
Yes.
have a tendency not to exercise self-care and compassion towards ourselves because we're
Yes.
so busy being concerned about everyone else around us, like our children, our spouses, or our significant others. So it's quite it's quite a challenge.
It totally is, Steffi. And was something that I really found, and it took me a while to figure it out, that when I took care of myself and I did better, my whole family and my friends did better. By neglecting caring for myself and trying to make everything better for everybody else, I actually made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And when I, conserved my energy and was able to get up with my kids in the morning and wore a nicer top. It was still a button-down top, but where I would always reach for my husband's old comfy denim top. But this one I took the effort to put on a little nicer top. And I'm not saying I didn't have my sweatpants, bandana wearing kind of days. Cancer Be Glam is not saying to women, you should dress up, be stylish, go out there. We're not about that. We just want to say to women, here are options. Great fashionable, practical yet fashionable recovery products. Here are lifestyle solutions. Here are tips from other mothers how to talk to your kids, dress better, whatever. And when you want it, we just want it to be there for you, so you don't have to guess about it or focus on that part of recovery.
Right.
But we totally, so when I was able to do a little bit more with myself, it made my kids breathe a sigh of relief. It made my husband, it made my friends feel better. And it also ultimately made me feel better.
Right. So key message, self-care is very important.
Always.
Now, another aspect of Cancer Bee Gland that I really, really appreciate is the fact that Cancer Bee Gland isn't exclusively for breast cancer survivors.
No.
It is across all cancers. You have sought out things, like you said, for individuals who have ostomies. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about how that breadth, why that was important to your mission, and
Yes.
the breadth that you have.
Yes. You know, we felt I was a breast cancer survivor, and sadly, my dear friend Ellen, 2 years into our collaboration of Cancer Bee Glam, she passed away from liver cancer, and it was devastating. And, you know, it had always been our goal that we support women with all types of cancer, but it even reinforced it further for me because tends to be more support and awareness for women who have breast cancer, but women, men, children, I mean, cancer is pervasive in all its forms, and everybody deserves to have support. And so, that we were clear from the beginning that we didn't want to limit ourselves to one type of cancer, excuse
Mhm.
me. And in the end, we just said, this is it. We are going to move forward, be inclusive, and help as many people, as many women as we can. And that was our focus, and it remains our focus, and will always be our focus, because we want to be able to support women with every type of cancer.
Mhm. Now, I want you to show your sleeve that you have on. Okay,
Oh,
now for
yes.
our audience, you'll notice
Yes.
that it matches my
I
background.
know. How about us?
We
It
did
was an
well.
accident.
Here we go. Tell us about that sleeve.
Okay. Well, this is really, if I'm going to symbolic and signifies really what is at the heart of Cancer Bee Glam. You know, the real goal, one of the real goals, I should say, and there's actually two goals here, I'm not telling the truth, is that we try to find recovery products that are not only practical, but fashionable where possible. And a third piece of that is that we are a platform and we want to support and acknowledge what we call survivor inspired solutions. And these are companies that were started by cancer survivors or their families, loved ones, that couldn't find wonderful recovery products, so they created their own to help other people in similar situations. So I have lymphedema, which is a swelling that I have in my arm because I had lymph node surgery from breast cancer and it damaged my lymphatic system. So this is actually a compression bandage. And, most of the compression bandages, for a long time, I was wearing bandages that looked like ACE bandages.
Mhm.
And people thought that maybe I had burned myself or, something else had happened. And so I found this company, a fantastic company called Lymphedivas. It was started by a young women with breast cancer who had the same feeling that why should you have to wear medical looking, depressing recovery products. And she started this company, and today they offer, you have to, you can take a look on my site or their site to get the link. It's called Lymphedivas, and they offer compression bandages in fantastic styles, patterns, colors. They even have ones that look like your arm is tattooed, and it's fantastic. And that's the whole goal, with all the companies that we try to feature, that are saying, cancer is part of your life, but your life doesn't have to be about that.
Yeah.
And you can reclaim your style, your dignity, and self-esteem. And we're going to help you do that by trying to provide you with, beautiful bras if you've had mastectomies, and beautiful, pouch covers and lingerie if you've had ostomies, and ways to continue to dress and feel good about yourself. And we also provide lifestyle support which are things as simple as, here's a company that you can order a birthday box, that you can have a birthday party, and you can order it from the comfort of your bed because you're going through treatment and you're tired, but you want your child to still have a birthday. So there's ways to make your life better and simpler and more beautiful. And that's a Cancer Be Glam. That's what we're trying to do. And same with all these wonderful survivor-inspired companies and other companies that we feature.
Now, I was on your website this morning, and for our audience, the website is www.cancerbeglammed.com. And I was just navigating through the site, and I noticed that you have added Cancer Be Glammed TV. Talk to us about that.
Yes, it's really been thrilling and very fun. We started a dedicated YouTube channel so that we could get up close and personal with experts and survivors, and people who had relevant, authentic stories and, information to impart to women that would really add value to their lives. So we have a show called The Cancer Couch where people, we named it that because so many women spend time on their couch when they're recovering. And, I used to lie there on my couch and think about what my life would be, as I recovered and when I recovered. And we asked women to sit on the couch and tell us their stories and things they thought about and how their recovery life has gone. And that's the goal of it, to have our own original programming. And we're eventually going to be bringing on programming from other great sources.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. We're really enjoying it.
Well, as we wrap up today, what would be the one thing that you would want women who are watching to walk away with?
That's a really, me, I can ramble on. I'm very passionate about this, Steffi.
Can't tell.
No, you can't, can you? I would say that cancer is so dark, and it's two things. I think one is, don't go it alone. There are people and websites and support groups, just like the Anti-Cancer Club, that, can connect you with people to reach out to. And because when you don't reach out to people, I think it's just too hard to carry alone. That's one. And the second thing is, it doesn't have to be the end of your story. Each day that you're alive, you have a story to tell, and a story that is yours. And even with Ellen, every day she contributed and put something into the world, to her family, and I just feel like that was so important. And so I guess, it's not about Cancer Be Glammed, it's about just hanging on to who you are and valuing who you are. That's what's important.
Well, Lisa, thank you for being with us.
It was my pleasure.
It's always a joy, I know.
Thank you.
And we will certainly hope to have you back in the future.
I'd love to. I'd love to show you some things when I come back. Actually show you some products and tell you some other great stories about what's happening, to keep women looking good and feeling good. So it'd be my pleasure anytime.
Great. Well, I'm going to stop the recording now. We'll still be on.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.